Imagine this. What if the biggest, most spectacular scandal in Silicon Valley history was about to get a sequel? That's the absolutely wild story we're diving into today. It's got Elizabeth Holmes, the disgraced founder of Theranos, and a brand new company that's promising something that sounds, well, a little too familiar.
You gotta love this quote. This was Elizabeth Holmes's rallying cry, which she told everyone to get him on board. Looking at it now, wow, the irony is just off the charts. It's the perfect setup for a story about insane ambition, massive fraud, and what looks like a potential comeback.
And yeah, that's the big question, isn't it? Is it even possible that the mind behind one of the most unbelievable corporate meltdowns we've ever seen is somehow back in the game? It sounds crazy, I know, but just wait till you hear the details.
Okay, so before we get into what's happening right now, let's do a quick rewind. Because to really get why this is all so nuts, you have to remember just how big the Theranos scandal actually was.
$9 billion. At its absolute peak, that's what Theranos was valued at. And I mean, everyone was buying it. We're talking media giants like Rupert Murdoch, political heavyweights like Henry Kissinger. They were all throwing money at this thing, thinking they were funding the future of healthcare.
And this number? That's how many of their miracle Edison machines actually worked. A big, fat zero. Nada. The entire promise, doing hundreds of tests with just one drop of blood, it was all a lie. That gap between 9 billion and zero, that right there is the whole story.
I mean, the rise was just insane. You had Holmes in her signature black turtleneck landing these huge deals with Walgreens, raising almost $1 billion. But the fall was even more spectacular. Whistleblowers came forward in 2015 and revealed the tech was a sham, and the whole house of cards just collapsed, ending with her getting sentenced to 11 years in prison in 2022.
So, you'd think that's where the story ends. She's in prison, it's over, right? Nope. From her cell in Texas, Holmes is apparently telling people she's still sketching out new inventions. Now, there is one little hurdle. The SEC has banned her from ever running a public company again.
So if she's banned, how is she making headlines again? Well, this is where her partner enters the picture, and the story starts to sound very familiar. So meet Billy Evans. He's Holmes's partner, and while she's serving her sentence, he's out there right now, trying to raise money for a brand new biotech company. It's called Hymanthus, and when you hear what it does, you might get a serious case of déjà vu.
Just look at this, side by side. On the left, you've got Theranos, which promised to revolutionize health testing. On the right, Hymanthus, promising the future of diagnostics. Both want to scan bodily fluids for diseases. The only real difference is the tech buzzwords have been updated from the Edison machine to an AI-powered laser scanner. The parallels are, well, they're kind of screaming at you.
Their strategy is a little different this time, though. It's actually pretty clever. They're starting with pet healthcare. Why? Because it's a huge market with way fewer regulations. The plan seems to be, prove the technology works on our pets, then, once that's done, pivot to the real prize, a wearable health scanner for humans. And to get all this off the ground, they're looking for about $70 million.
All right, so at this point, you're probably thinking, okay, this is an open and shut case. It's Theranos 2.0, right? But here's where the story takes a huge, unexpected twist. The actual science they're talking about using, well, it might just be legit. The core technology is something called Raman spectroscopy. And no, that's not some made-up technobabble. This is a real, proven scientific technique that chemists have been using for almost 100 years. You basically shine a laser on something, and you can identify molecules by the unique way they vibrate. So here's the Hymanthus method. Step 1. Scan a sample, blood, saliva, whatever, with a laser. Step 2. The molecules in that sample start to vibrate. Step 3. An AI model analyzes those vibrations, which act like a unique fingerprint for each molecule, and it can supposedly spot signs of cancer or other diseases all in a matter of seconds. Ambitious? Yes. Impossible? Maybe not.
And listen, it's not just Hymanthus talking about this kind of thing. Other totally separate researchers are making huge progress here. You have top doctors like Dr. Victor Velculescu over at Johns Hopkins talking about the very real potential of using AI-driven blood tests for early cancer detection. So the concept itself has serious credibility. And there is hard data to back it all up. A study out of Beijing recently used the exact same method Hymanthus is proposing. That's Raman spectroscopy combined with AI. And look at these results. They were able to spot melanoma with 99.7% accuracy. That is incredible.
The science itself seems really solid.
So if the science is so promising, what's the holdup? Well, it all comes down to money. And to get that money, you have to convince investors to ignore the massive ghost of Elizabeth Holmes looming over the whole project.
And so far, the professional investment community is not biting at all. Reports are saying major VCs, including Michael Dell's firm, took one look at this and passed immediately. The risk of being tied to anything connected to Elizabeth Holmes is just way too high for them.
This quote from one of the venture capitalists who passed on them really says it all. After getting burned so badly by Theranos, investors have a new mantra. A good story isn't enough anymore. They need bulletproof, undeniable science before they'll even think about writing a check.
So where is Hemethys getting its money? Well, it's not from the big dogs in Silicon Valley. Turns out, almost all of their initial funding, like 95% of it, has come from friends and family. It just goes to show you how radioactive their reputation is with the pros.
Which brings us to this fundamental conflict, this huge question at the heart of the story. Can a technology, even a potentially revolutionary one, ever escape the shadow of such a catastrophic lie?
The company is so aware of this problem that they've literally had to post on social media, "This is not Theranos 2.0. And honestly, the fact that you even have to say that, well, it tells you everything you need to know about the insane uphill battle they're facing.
And that's really where this story leaves us, hanging in the balance. On one hand, you have some genuinely promising science that independent researchers are proving could actually work. And on the other hand, you have a company that was born from the ashes of the biggest biotech fraud of our time. The question is, which one wins? Can a good idea ever be good enough to make people forget a lie that big? We're just going to have to wait and see.